FA Cup reaches its semi-final round Saturday, Arsenal and Manchester City at Wembley, and then Sunday, Chelsea and Manchester United. For more, we welcome Stewart Robson, Steve Nicol, and Craig Burley to the show. Craig, let's start with you. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came out earlier this week, said it's not fair Chelsea getting an extra 48 hours of rest before the Sunday showdown. Is he wrong? Is United at a disadvantage?
Well, it's not ideal. But, you know, and I'm sure if it had been reversed, Frank Lampard would have been saying the same thing. But unfortunately, you know, because of this shutdown that we've had, there is no ideal scenario. So it is what it is. But I think United will still be in good shape come the game, to be quite frank with you. They've, over the head-to-head this season, they've had the upper hand on Chelsea. They had some squad rotation at Crystal Palace, which they managed to get a result. They've got a front three that's on fire. And Chelsea have looked a little vulnerable or a lot vulnerable defensively. So, yeah, I mean, the extra days rest are important. But as I say, with the league fixtures coming thick and fast because of the lockdown, it's a scenario that really couldn't be avoided.
Stevie, on this show, Shaka always says never give players an excuse or else they'll take it. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer making excuses here for his players?
I don't think so, no. Listen, I kind of agreed with what Shaka said because I actually believe that. You know, if you tell them, if you don't tell them, but if you make it clear loud enough and long enough, then they'll start believing. But the fact is that right now, Manchester United players, every single one of them wants to be on the field playing. The way they're going forward particularly, everybody wants to be a part of it. Everybody wants to get goals. Everybody wants to get involved with Bruno Fernandes and the return of Pogba. So, listen, the last thing that United players right now are thinking about is being tired. All they want to do is get in that starting 11, and that is part of the reason why United are so successful right now. Every single player is busting a gut to get in that team.
Robbo, your perspective? I wonder what you make of what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said.
Well, I think he's given the players a slight excuse. I would say never mention about tiredness. Just going back to what Steve was saying, yes, every player wants to get in the team. My word of warning for Manchester United would be, in the last two games, I don't think they've earned the right to play. Particularly against Southampton, they thought they could come out and play from the back, and Maguire and the other centre-half, Lindelof, could get hold of the ball and play into midfield, and Southampton pressed them. And it was up to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to come out after 5 minutes, they bypass that press, you know, and go into the front, and then we'll earn the right to play to get Bruno Fernandes more space. And they did it a little bit against Crystal Palace. I'm sure Chelsea would have looked at that. So it's important that Manchester United earn the right to play and go that little bit longer to start with, force Chelsea back, and then there'll be space to play out from that. Then they can get it into Bruno Fernandes. Then he can go and pull the strings and get those front three into the game.
All right, gentlemen, let's make some predictions. Always a good time to embarrass ourselves. Craig, I'll start with you. Who are you taking in this one, and why?
Well, I think both teams are pretty evenly matched, but they're a country mile off the guys at the top. But Man United have had the upper hand. And, you know, I think with Chelsea's problems, and there have been problems at the back, there's two centre-halves and the left back and the space that could be in behind. The defensive midfield's been an issue as well. I'm going to go for Manchester United because I think out the two sides, they look a little bit more compact at the moment.
Stevie, United or Chelsea?
It's got to be Manchester United. The way they're going forward, particularly Martial and Rashford. Yes, against Palace, they were a little lacklustre at the back, but when you've got a strike force that Man United have, they're going to score goals against the Chelsea side who've forgotten how to defend. So, Manchester United.
Robbo, you going to make it unanimous?
I'm going to make it unanimous. I think that Manchester United, will dominate the game. They've got better front players than Chelsea. Whoever they play up front, Giroud or Abraham, aren't as good as the players up the other end. It's going to be a Manchester United win for me.
All right, let's turn our attention to Saturday's semifinal, Arsenal and Manchester City. Craig, you look at this one on paper, you say, all right, it's going to be a wide open affair, plenty goals. What kind of match you actually think we'll see?
One where City dominates possession and tries to run Arsenal ragged and get them to lose their shape, which has been a problem for Arsenal anyway. Just keeping their shape and having a good shape has been a problem. Arteta's worked on it with the sort of 3-4-3, and they've managed to defend not too bad at times, but other times they've just been ran ragged, and they somehow held on for a result against Liverpool. But we know Liverpool are probably running about 60%. of a tank of gas at the moment because they've won the league. Look, the last time Arsenal beat Manchester City, and they haven't even had a draw since, was the semi-final 3 years ago. So maybe that's kind of some sort of omen for them. I don't know. The one thing I'll be hanging on to is my front line. I'd be hanging on to my front line, whoever it is. I would imagine it's Aubameyang on the left, probably Lacazette, but it could be Nketiah, and probably Saka on the other side. I would be hanging my hat that they're going to be able to come up with something against the Achilles heel of Man City, which I don't need to spell it out, is their back line, their back four. So they've got a chance, Arsenal, but they're going to have to defend really, really well, which is an issue for them.
What's the best approach here, Robbo? Is it a pragmatic one from Arsenal or to go toe-to-toe with City?
I think they will try and go toe-to-toe to a certain degree, but it's interesting if they're going to play with a back three. What happens if Mahrez plays high and wide on the right-hand side? Is Arteta going to ask the wide centre-half to go and face him up and be 1v1 in big areas, which I think Mahrez would love? Or is he going to ask Tierney to come back and be up against Mahrez? And then it makes it a back four, so he's gone against his shape. But I agree with Craig. You know, if they can get the front three involved, whether it be Aubameyang, Lacazette, whether Pepe comes in as well, those three can get enough of the ball and cause Man City problems going the other way, they've got a chance. But overall, I think Man City have got the better players. They'll dominate midfield with Xhaka up against Xhaka and probably Ceballos in that midfield area. It's going to be, for me, Man City dominating the game.
Stevie, you think it'll be wide open, entertaining as the teams might suggest?
I think what we'll see is a carbon copy of what happened, particularly with possession against Liverpool during the week. You know, regardless of how Arsenal want to go about it, they're going to be pushed back because Man City will have the majority of the possession. And Arsenal's problem will be how do they create more than they did against Liverpool. The facts are they didn't have a shot at goal other than the two horrendous mistakes Liverpool had for the two goals. They couldn't muster a shot at goal. Okay, Aubameyang wasn't playing, but really that was the only difference for the normal Arsenal team. So I'm not sure how they create some chances. And I don't see how City miss as many chances as Liverpool do. I can't come up with a reason to turn around and tell you Arsenal gets in from this game. I think City comfortably win it.
We had Don and Shaka on the show yesterday. They said the same thing. Craig, you going to give Arsenal any shot here?
Yeah, because if City have another game where they just completely mill teams in terms of possession, but are sloppy in the final third and don't finish them off like they did against Bournemouth, like they've did against many teams. I mean, the scenario, I think, in the League Cup, double-headed against Man United was incredible. I mean, they gave United a pasting at Old Trafford, but they didn't kill them off in terms of they could have been 5 up at half-time. That's the only scenario I see that's going to keep Arsenal in the game, whether Martinez has a great game in goals or Arsenal City are sloppy in that final third, and it gives the front line a chance to hit them on the counter-attack, which we know they're good at and we know City are vulnerable for. It's the only way I see City giving this one up if they don't finish off the chances that they're going to create, because believe me, they're going to create chances in this game.
Robbo, Arsenal or City?
I'm going to go for City. They've got the better players. I think they've got the outstanding manager. Arteta's getting better. He's got to get his tactics absolutely right. I think it will be much tighter than people think, but it will be Man City to win the game by a couple of goals to 1.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.